This is an interesting story. A bunch of villagers in Wales were so sick of their slow broadband, they decided to build their own trenches and lay their own cables. The residents of Michaelston-y-Fedw in Wales had endured the country's slowest internet connections, or one of them. It could take up to 5 days to download a single movie and 10 minutes to send one email. I can feel my blood pressure rising just now. But now their connection is one of the fastest on the planet. Well, we can speak to two of the people involved in this project. Julie Taylor allowed her family farm to be dug up to place the cables, and Karina Dunk assembled the fibre optic cables for almost 200 people's routers. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon.
I should point out we are speaking using your broadband connection, so let's hope it does not give up. I'll start with Julie. When you were approached and asked for your farm to be allowed to be dug up, how did they explain it to you and what did you think?
Well, my husband was part of the team looking at the map and the routes and where it had to go. There's many farms that it would have had to go through to connect the whole village. The village is widespread, so to connect everybody, it had to go through at least 5-6 farms and other landowners' properties as well.
My heart absolutely leapt there. The internet looked like it had dropped for a split second, but we're back on. Karina, just for listeners, I was reading there out loud about how slow your internet was. Just explain how frustrating it was beforehand.
Beforehand, it's very frustrating because at 3.8 megabits, we are unable to watch anything on Amazon Prime, Netflix. Because we're quite a distance from the cabinet, it is constantly dropping us. So we might have internet 1 minute and the next it's gone.
And what impact?
Very frustrating.
That must have a big impact on your life. So many phone calls are now done through video conferencing on the internet.
Yes, it means we can cut our landline contract, landline and broadband contract completely, as can the majority of the residents in the village.
So how did you really all get together and decide, right, we've had enough, we're going to take this on ourselves?
Well, it took one person in particular, David Schofield, whose brother-in-law worked on the B4RN, which is the Barn project in Lancashire, who's done exactly the same thing. Got together with a few people. I'm going to try and cut this as short as I can. Basically, they decided that if Lancashire can do it, so can we. Subsequent public meetings, other meetings, they set up a company called Michaelston-y-Fedw Internet Community Interest Company. Directors were elected, subcommittees were formed, the work was planned, managed, organised, products sourced. Basically, we've had to work with landowners and farmers who have generously given their way leaves free of charge. The directors themselves have spent thousands of hours planning, managing and doing the physical work to bring the project where it is today. And because it's a community company, community interest company, they will continue steering the company in the best direction to benefit the community. Local residents have invested their savings to provide us with start-up capital. Contractors, we've managed to keep local contractors supplied with the work for doing the trenching around the fields. We've had suppliers who have kindly generously provided either preferential cost for product or even donated product free of charge, knowing that it's a community project. Volunteers. We have got a core group of about 30 to 40 volunteers who will just roll their sleeves up and get their hands on in any of the activities involved, myself included, who had never done anything like this before.
It's really impressive.
We also have the Welsh Government Assembly to thank for the grants that we have got to support us, and all the inquirers that we have relied on them to, as I say, give us tremendous support.
Yeah, well, it's very impressive that you've managed to achieve this. I think so many people around the country will be thinking, man, I wish we could do that where I live. And how long did it take from start to finish, Julie? And how many people have benefited?
Well, the people that benefit, there's 300 people in the village. So that's what we're hoping for, that everybody will be connected. And there's so many people with businesses in the village, so it will help absolutely everybody with if they work from home and going forward into other businesses.
Yeah, and it's all up and running now, Karina, is it?
No, we've made our first live connections,
right.
And now we just have to plough on, no pun intended, to get the other connections made.
But this is one that we are using right now to interview you, I take it then. This is one of the new connections.
Absolutely, and what we're working with here is a 940 upload and not dissimilar download.
Whoa, that's large. That is really large.
Well, we can proudly boast that we are the first rural community-built gigabit or 100 megabits per second fibre to the property network in Wales.
If that goes on your sign,
it's
going to be a big one then. So you're welcome to the village, yes. But
absolutely. Yeah.
That is...
We lead the field in equal download and upload speeds. It's done so much for the community. It's brought so many people together that never knew each other beforehand. And whilst 1,000 megabits per second is very, very fast, the local network could be upgraded in the future to handle speeds of more than 100 gigabits or 100,000 megabits per second. So we think this is a fantastic achievement.
Who was the first person in the village to get it then?
The village hall.
Village hall, right. So at least people could share it then. See, it's
yes,
nice how
because all the different fractions of the village come to the village hall, like the WI, the young farmers, lots of different groups use the hall, so we thought that would be the first place to be connected.
That seems fair, one that's accessible to as many people as possible. And the Woman's Eye love their Netflix. I know all about them, yeah. But it's a lovely idea that you were saying, that it has actually brought people together. People who hadn't met before suddenly found themselves beside each other, digging trenches in your farm, Julie.
Well, not just the farm, the whole village, because obviously the trenches have to be dug between each connection. So, yes, people, when we went round knocking on doors and asking people what they could do, it was amazing what skills people had that we knew nothing about. There was a guy that actually manufactures the ducting that goes in the trenches. And then we had a number of IT people that could help and many other skill sets.
Well, listen, thank you both very much for coming on and speak to us. That's Julie Taylor and Karina Dunk, who are from the village of Michaelston-y-Fedw, who have managed to get this unbelievably fast broadband by doing it themselves. The only thing I hope for you both, Julie and Karina, is that now you've got this broadband and made all these new friendships, you aren't all just going to sit in your own houses watching loads and loads of films that you can now stream incredibly quickly. Don't do that. And if you're going to listen to listen to 5 Live through the iPlayer, and then you can make very good use of it. Thank you both very much for speaking to us. The time is 1:31. Let's get the news now with Helen Place.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.